Sarah Ferguson didn't even blink when she dropped the bomb. Meghan's connection to London's Soho House was never what the public thought, and the moment she said it, the entire room went silent. People swear they saw her give a tiny smirk, as if she'd been waiting years to finally let this slip. But that wasn't even the real shock. She leaned in, lowered her voice, and said Meghan wasn't just a guest at Soho House. She was a strategic operator, someone who moved through those velvet-lit hallways with an agenda far bigger than networking. Apparently, staff members had whispered for ages about Meghan's unusual access, the kind that regular guests, even high-profile ones, didn't normally get. Some said she had a protected list status that only top influencers and power players ever touched. But then Sarah hinted there was something even deeper behind it. Because according to her, Meghan wasn't alone. A senior Soho House insider allegedly coached her, opening doors, smoothing introductions, and helping her rise through London's social scene faster than anyone expected. A fast climb like that always raises eyebrows, but Sarah claims some royal circles were quietly watching it happen, wondering who was pulling the strings. And that's when the tension really began to boil under the surface. She said that certain palace aides were nervously comparing timelines, realizing Meghan's Soho House connections lined up perfectly with moments that later shaped her path into the royal family. A coincidence? Sarah didn't call it that. She called it deliberate. But that word alone wasn't the part that sent fans spiraling. Because then she revealed something darker, that someone in the royal orbit tried to block Meghan's influence at Soho House, fearing the relationship she was building would eventually bleed into royal life. The clash, Sarah said, turned into a behind-the-scenes tug-of-war that lasted months, with whispered arguments, quiet warnings, and even a few icy confrontations at events where everyone pretended to smile, but none of them were ready for what happened next. According to Sarah, Meghan didn't back down. She doubled down. She allegedly strengthened her ties with high-level members inside the club, building a circle powerful enough that even palace staff were forced to adjust. Suddenly, people who once dismissed her were watching her moves like hawks, unsure whether she was rising too fast or simply outplaying them all. But the drama didn't stop there, because Sarah then dropped the twist that made the internet explode. Meghan's relationship with Prince Harry also had an early spark linked directly to Soho House, but not in the dreamy way their PR version tells it. Sarah suggested there were facilitators involved, people who made the introduction happen, people whose motives weren't entirely romantic. Fans gasped, critics sharpened their knives, and royal watchers started digging into old photos, guest lists, and timelines. But that wasn't even the final twist. Sarah claimed that after Meghan officially joined the royal family, a quiet storm erupted between her and certain Soho House insiders who felt she'd outgrown them. Some believed Meghan distanced herself. Others were convinced she was subtly trying to reshape the club's influence in her new royal world. And allegedly, that tension snapped one night in London when a private conversation turned heated, accusations were thrown, and someone walked out of the room vowing never to back her again. But the aftermath was even messier. Suddenly, rumors started swirling that Meghan's Soho House allies were leaking stories, palace aides were countering with their own narratives, and both sides were quietly trying to control the public version of events. Sarah didn't confirm every rumor, but she didn't deny any either. Instead, she smiled and said people would be stunned if they knew what really happened behind those doors. And that one sentence sent the entire fan base into meltdown. But Sarah wasn't done. She ended with the coldest line yet, hinting that the truth about Soho House wasn't just about Meghan's climb, but about who helped her, who tried to stop her, and who regrets crossing her now. The implication? Some names haven't been revealed, some alliances broke, and some secrets are still buried in those dimly lit velvet lounges, waiting for the moment someone else decides to talk. And according to Sarah, someone will.